Welcome to Coaching Uncut, a special series on the Unstoppable Woman podcast, where I take you behind the scenes and give you a peek into the private coaching I do with my clients. All of these coaching calls have been recorded with the permission from my clients who have generously allowed me to share these with you as a way of helping more people in this world. They give you access to master level coaching and the opportunity to learn the lessons that they're learning right along with them. Please keep in mind that these recordings are not studio productions and the audio quality may be less than ideal, but the content will take you far and help you become unstoppable. With that, listen in and learn. In this episode of Coaching Uncut, I'm working with a client who's had a wake-up call from her CFO about her numbers. She wants to do better, but is going down the road of blaming her team and not taking personal responsibility. In this conversation, we talk about how to show up as a leader and set your team up for success. As a result, flash forward 6 months, she has the best year ever and tells me that she's trying to figure out what to do with all the excess money that she has from a tax perspective. Please listen in and learn from this episode if you really want to learn how to take money concerns and turn them into a productive way forward.
Hi there, how are you?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
Yeah. Oh, there's a little, you're laughing, you're smiling, and you're like, oh.
I'm okay.
What's going on?
Well, I just had one of those nights where I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning and I could not get back to sleep for love nor money. And, speaking of money, I think that's what it's about. I had a call with my HTM CEO yesterday, and we ran some reports. We did some numbers. You're always, you like to say, make love to your numbers, and these ones were not looking very attractive.
Okay.
Swipe left. Anyway, so I think that in reality, I think that the numbers were skewed because our bills just went out on Friday or yesterday, and the payments haven't been applied. So I think the report that I was looking at is going to look better by the end of the day, but still,
You mean your invoices just went out? Is that what you mean by bills?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. My invoices.
Yeah. Checking. Okay.
Yeah, invoices just went out, so that just means that the report that I ran didn't have this round of invoices in it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but just the same, it was. It sparked a conversation that I knew was coming, which has to do with kind of a boss. Of my people, of my timekeepers especially. So, it's just like the moment has come. I have to be the boss. My big timekeeper, she's on vacation until Friday. So using this time to sort of to gather my thoughts and I actually have another call with my CEO to start formulating how do you have this conversation, and so it's just one of those moments I knew was going to come, and of course it the universe really leads you step by step, right? So this goes again with the conflict avoidance thing. I just feel like I need I just knew this moment was coming, and here it is, and I'm just kind of in the middle of planning, making plans.
Back up a little bit so I understand. When you start referring to your timekeepers, are you saying that they're not billing enough, or they're not tracking their hours enough? What is the challenge that's in front of you specifically there?
So specifically, it's that the hours are not there. So for example, she's got a 1,600 billable hour requirement, which means she needs to bill. I'm not gonna remember, but about 30 to 35 hours. I think it's about 35 hours a week. Times whatever is 100, I think it's 120 a month, and she's nowhere near that, nowhere near.
So pause there for a second. That's 1,600 hours, is that what you said?
Yeah, 1,600 a year.
Okay. And Is that written into her contract? Is she well aware of
Yes.
this is a requirement? Okay.
Yes.
Have you had a conversation with her previously about it?
Not about the fact that she's not making her hours.
We're just going to break this down so that it's not
Yeah.
emotional, okay?
Okay.
Does she have any idea that she's not making her numbers? Like, did you know before today or yesterday?
I didn't know the extent of it. So I can't say that I didn't know, but it was like one of those things like, oh, we're adjusting to COVID, we don't have that much business, and, you know, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, those are excuses, really. If you have a bill hour requirement, you either make it or you come to the person who's in charge of you and ask for something else to do. You don't do it.
That is correct. And yet we are human beings, and you know that from being the leader of the pack that sometimes you, quote unquote, fog out, right? Like, oops, drop the ball on that, stop looking at that, even though you know that it's a priority in your business. So we're going to have compassion here, but we're also going to set up a better structure, okay? So you as a leader need to take 100% personal responsibility, which is, okay, right now I'm seeing that I haven't actually created the structures in our business to give people the feedback that they need to know and the information that they need to know whether they're doing a good job or not a good job, and to stay on track and to really excel. How can I help them excel? Okay, let's start with the premise that she's on board, she's on the same team, she's not trying to sabotage you. None of anything you've shared with me about her has suggested that. So we're going to eliminate that from the conversation and just be like, okay, how do I help this rock star be a rock star? Okay? Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay. So, and again, do you notice how I'm like pulling you back from the edge, like you're in like, oh my God, the money, you know, like the numbers, and yes, we need them to do that for us. We need them to light a fire under us. And then we need to go to work on solving the problem, okay, without it being, the challenge where most people get stuck is they get the urgency from the shame instead of the urgency from the desire, and then we just feel bad, okay? And instead, why don't we get the urgency, feel a little bit bad, get a little bit motivated, want to go towards where we want to go, and without wronging anyone, because we don't want to create that as the atmosphere where we live in and work in, we just set up a better structure for this. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So first thing is you haven't really talked to her about this much. Okay?
Right.
So you have to bring it up. You have to set up a meeting. You have to bring it up. And you have to own the fact that you haven't made this a priority for us to look at. Just own that. And so that she doesn't start going into like, but I didn't know, right? And F you, right? Just own that. And then say, you know, I want to review hours weekly for the next month, and then twice a month for the next 3 months, and then evaluate where we stand after that, okay? But the expectation is that you start meeting the billable hours every week, but we're not going to be reviewing them every week, except in the beginning, to make sure we know how to course correct any problems that come up, okay? And by solving problems that come up, you don't want to infantilize her, okay? It's really about like, we don't actually know what's getting in your way of making these numbers, making your billable hour requirements. So I want to use the first month for us to problem solve around that. Okay? Do you see how you're setting her up for success?
Yes, I do.
Okay?
I see that.
But you're also not abdicating, like, go fix this and never look at it again for a month, and then she's 40% off hours and you're pissed, okay?
Yes, right.
Okay? Like, that doesn't work. Okay, now, am I saying that you need to manage this on a weekly basis forevermore? Absolutely not, okay?
No, but, I mean, but that said, there hasn't been, Like there also has not been like an onboarding thing either. And so, I mean, I need to take ownership for that. I mean, maybe not right now, but like for the next attorney, I need to own the fact that there was not like there's like an expectations were set. And of course she's worked for firms before, so she knows, you know, she knows a thing or two. But on the other hand, when the hours started to slip, we did not have a conversation about that. So like kind of two things, like the expectations were not clear, the communication was not super clear, like here's what to do if you're, you know, here are my expectations of you as an employee. And by the way, if it ever gets to the point where we don't have these expectations being met, you know, and by the way, here's the feedback structure and the KPIs and all that, you know, we're going to review, you know, just know that your numbers are going to be, reviewed. I'll say it better than that, but be reviewed. And like the fact that they were not being monitored by me, like really took away that opportunity for us to make a clean course correction much earlier. So I guess one of the takeaways from this is that, you know, the next attorney or even just the next go around with this set of timekeepers is like, okay, let's course correct, let's get this back on track. If there's a problem if you don't have enough work to do, then of course let's fix that also. You know, that's a marketing issue, that's a sales calls issue, that's another type of issue. And let's be sure that you know, by the way, like how to bill, like how do you bill a file, you know, in a robust way. Like if you're not getting your hours in, I should never, ever, ever get a call from a client saying, hey, what's going on with my case, for example. So correct. Like I feel like there are like a series of things that could, like this could be a pretty robust conversation and a learning experience for all of our timekeepers.
Absolutely.
Myself.
And maybe it's a conversation that you have as a group rather than top down or just one person, so that it becomes a type of masterminding, problem solving kind of situation. And that, like, as a leader, you do not have to have all the answers, but you have to have the responsibility. Okay? You have to come with confidence and clarity and with full responsibility. Hey, as we're growing, I realize that we don't have this well in place, and I want to work with you guys to, you know, create a really strong onboarding flow here so that we're all clear, and so on and so forth, based on what you've just said. Okay? Now, there is, if people are coming up with lame things or things that don't hold them to high standards, that's a different situation. You know, to be clear, you have people who are enthusiastic, gung-ho, want to excel. Help them, let them help you help them, right? Ask them for their input. Okay, how would they solve this problem? Okay, right?
That's a good one.
And then someone else writes up the notes and puts it, I'm just blanking out on her name, the woman I've been working with. Thank you. Yes. You know, when you have this, ask to take notes and write it up in a system, like step by step, like a for the operations handbook, right? For the wherever you keep that, and you want it like as a checklist. And when I say checklist, I'm like, you know, help people set themselves up for success. Do they have a reminder daily to, you know, check their hours, or weekly to check their hours, or what to do when they're falling behind in billable hours, or what happens when they have too many XYZ things and not about enough billable hours? How do you course correct, right? Like figure out what your solutions are, and it doesn't have to be complicated or lengthy, but that kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, I can think of a bunch of things, and it's not hard. It's not complicated. It's like you say, it's like so many things in life, I guess, boil down to just a checklist. Like I think about airline pilots and all the stuff that they have to do before they get going, astronauts, and it's all about checklist. And it seems as though this would be a really good tool. Like if you're feeling like you've got nothing, if you're stuck and you can't think of anything to do, like here's a checklist of like, oh, did you check in with the client even though their case is not active? Have you checked in with them to tell them that it's not active? Because that's a billable event. In that case, they feel like they care about you care about them, and maybe they have something that's popped up that they need to talk with you about. It's all about care and feeding. So much of, being in service is about care and feeding, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So there you go. You've got it. And I would do this as a Zoom call. I would record the call so that to listen back to some of your brilliant ideas. She has them, okay? Or you can get them transcribed and then she can cut and paste. Okay.
Beautiful. Okay, thank you.
Okay. So let's take a moment to pause there. That's a nice complete thought around, setting people up for success and being a good leader. Does that calm the money noise that you woke up in the middle of the night with?
Well, certainly, because I can't go back and change what's already happened. So I like it because it's forward, like it's like immediate, something I can do right away. That's forward looking. It is a course correction, and it will sort of inure to the benefit of the firm going forward to do this course correction as a system, like systemically, and it taught me a lot. And see the money crunch. Well, I don't know. I'll have to let you know when I see the numbers after the invoices have gone out and the payments have been applied and that report changes. Hopefully it will be enough. Hopefully it will be the same, amount of money coming in as it was last month. And it actually kind of is on track in a way because it was like literally half of last month. So if this second round of bills, which is the second round of invoices going out this month, is similar to last, then I will be on track again and I'll feel a little bit better. But still, there's more to be done, like more sales, more outreach, more more billing, more billing. It's just, I just have to get this machine up. It's good to be shocked like that. And I am worried about money, and I will be.
So you have two assignments. One is everything we just talked about. Go have that meeting today. Okay. Make that happen. Easy peasy, lemon breezy. Like that's closing the gap on time. You're solving the problem. Okay. Totally fantastic. Then the next thing that you need to do is you need to send me your numbers. Okay. Because it's been a while since you've told me how you've been doing on a monthly basis, and not to freak you out, but I want to know where we stand so that I can help you exceed that. Okay.
Okay. All right. I can do that.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
All right.
Great.
Will do. Thank you.
Okay. You're so welcome.
Okay.
Take care.
Okay.
Bye.
You too.
Thank you so much for joining us for Coaching Uncut. If you loved what you learned today, please leave us a comment and let us know. We always love a thumbs up or a 5-star review, so thank you in advance for that. And if you want to take your life and your business to the next level and it's time to scale, please reach out to us and schedule a consult at theunstoppablewoman.com/next level. So that's theunstoppablewoman.com/next level. See you in the next episode. Rock it out and be unstoppable.